because economically, we're still growing. Let's say let me compare tayo with say Italy, no. Probably Italy is worse than us, but may difference tayo. We have a younger, more vibrant, mobile population as against Italy. So I think the economy is gonna do better afterwards. But it will take a while. I mean, honestly, Marvin, if you want to be honest with each other, guys, 70% economy natin tumatakbo. What do you expect? I mean, nothing can happen, really.
Go na. We are with Randell Tiongson. Super timely video with the man, the myth, the legend. I have a question before we start. Kumusta naman kayo during this?
What's up?
Kumusta kayo during this lockdown period? Everything okay? Wala naman problema? Everything's good? What's life?
I was properly prepared. I stocked up. I have all the basic necessities.
Wow,
Having a coffee.
dati.
Hindi naman. Niluto ko na yung steak. Niluto. But there are others that I prepared. I mean, basically kasi I always have siguro a week's worth of food.
Wow.
So I just added a little bit more. And whenever it's an opportunity to go out and buy, I do that. So okay naman kami. I think we're good for about 2.5 weeks worth of food without having to go out.
Yeah. Galing.
So yeah. Coffee. And I have enough coffee.
Coffee talaga. May nakita ko nag-hoard kanina, sobrang daming coffee. Parang 30 boxes yata ng Dolce Gusto na boxes ha.
Yeah.
I don't know how, sabi ko why that much? Sabi niya I don't know how long this lockdown will last. So nag-hoard na siya. Tapos I was in kanina. Saan ako? Ang dami kong grocery pinuntahan, ubos kasi lahat. Sa SM, ubos yung bigas. Sa Rustans, ubos yung ice cream. So iba yung priorities ng tao.
Kanina I bought some rice also sa Rustans, no? Yung natira yung really expensive rice. Yung imported expensive rice yung natira. I still got it, no?
Okay, so
mga certain things are out of stock, but I believe it's only temporary, no, before they restock.
So everything's good naman.
Walang bread. I was looking for bread. Wala silang bread.
Okay lang. Carbs naman yun so it's okay.
For my family. Yep.
Okay. So everything's good. Everything's well. Walang problem. No problem as of today.
None so far.
Okay. Ngayon.
So ngayon, you're stuck in your house. Siguro that's driving you crazy, no? Not going out, not speaking to
people. I was out kasi nag-grocery ako wala kaming pagkain eh. So yun, wala nang pilang.
You take extra precaution when you're going out?
Naka surgical gloves tapos may mask tapos stop.
I went out to buy a little bit in the grocery. Si Mia forced me to wear surgical gloves and surgical masks. So medyo OA lang. Kaya nakatingin sa akin yung mga tao why am I gloves.
Pero okay lang, kailangan ka ng mundo eh. So that's okay.
Yes, Marvin, you wanted to do for something.
So I have a question. You've been in the market 1997, 2008, tapos ngayon we're legitimately experiencing something that's different also.
Technically Marvin, pati 1989.
Meron.
The back that time. Although I did some investments that time, pero very, very small pa lang.
Pero was that a crash?
89 was a lot of the coup d'etats happened there. So markets crashed also. But the market gonna recover and then that happened. So economy in general was not good during those times.
But may test pala ako may mga test kasi ako sa mga Gen Z eh. Check natin if you are Gen X. Sino si MacGyver?
Okay. Show in Channel 9. Magaling ang mag-ayos ng mga bagay-bagay pag nasira.
Ayun.
Meron siya pa akong version ng MacGyver. So I don't think it hit. But MacGyver was something we like to watch.
Okay.
Channel 9.
Di siya alam ng mga Gen Z.
A lot of people don't understand the channels pa.
Anyways,
okay.
So 1989 crash, 1997 financial crisis.
Wala bang mas mahirap?
Hindi. To the end, I'll think about harder questions siguro. 2008 crash, then today. What do you say?
A lot of coup d'etats. Sige Marvin, para lang ma-refresh ka a little bit. 89, there's a coup d'etats. The Philippines was very promising at that time. Then there's a lot of these coup d'etats led by Enrile and Honasan. And in 1990, there was the big earthquake in Luzon. So, nakaka-recover pa lang, tinamaan na naman. 1991 was the eruption of Pinatubo. So, these were really trying times. And then, almost siguro about that time or a little bit after that time, major power crisis. No? So, we were only having 6 to 12 hours times of electricity. So, these were the challenging times at those years.
Okay. So
and of course, when those things are happening, people are less concerned about investments, di ba? I mean, it's all about survival eh. So, yan yung challenge natin during those times.
So, ngayon, everyone's scared right now. The market has, at its lowest, nag-5-1 yung market, galing 9,000. We're not yet at 50% down. We're nag-dip siya. Medyo significant naman. We haven't dropped this low. I'm talking about siguro funds na lang. We haven't dropped this low since the 2008 crash. This is one of the lowest crashes that we've ever had. So, a lot of people are scared. Madami nag-invest 2-3 years ago na the market was at 7,000, 8,000, 9,000. They're at a loss right now. You've been to 4 legitimate crashes already. What do you suggest to people? I don't
want to Sige Marvin, I don't want to oversimplify because syempre yung fears nila, yung concerns nila, these are what you call legitimate concerns, legitimate fears. I am not discounting it. Tayo mismo, we lost some money as well. But yung sinasabi ko, these things will come to pass. Usually preceding a slump or a decline is a recovery. And sometimes the recoveries are also as steep. May growth din yan. That's what we've seen. It can be a slow growth, it can be a fast growth. Really depends on what's going to happen and how they're going to handle this COVID issue. So basically, the difference before 89 was a little bit different. That's a lot of things happening, and it was localized to the Philippines. 97 was Asian crisis, so it's a financial issue. 2008 was a financial issue. Today, 2020, it's a little bit different because it's not a financial issue. It's not even an economic issue, but really, it's what's happening. Parang it's a disaster na COVID is different, pero the effects are the same. So, yan yung mga questionation natin. So, last night I had a FB Live and a lot of people were concerned what to do with their money. Again, babalik pa rin tayo, Marvin, corny, again, ulit. Ano ba talaga? What was your purpose of investing it? Ano ba objective mo talaga? Example, had you invested in 7,000, 8,000, hindi ba at 9,000, no? Pero ano ba yung objective mo nun? Do you need that to add on to your, say, retirement, which will happen in 15 years? And then you're gonna be okay. I mean, I don't recommend people to pull it out. Basically, if you don't need the money and you're willing to wait, nag-loss ka na. So what do? You just have to wait, no? And you see it recover. Some people are suggesting na medyo tanggalin muna natin, cut loss mo tayo, lipat mo natin sa bonds. Again, I go back. Ano ba talaga objective mo? If your objective was if you need the money in the next year or so, maybe that sounds good, no? Personally, I won't do it. Pero, whenever I invest, sinasabi mo kasi Marvin, every time you invest, pera ba yan na pwede mong iwanan talaga, di ba? I mean, part ba yan emergency funds mo? So, it all boils down to that eh.
Okay. Pero pag ililipat nila sa bonds, isn't it too late already? They should have done it nung parang way back already. Kasi laki na nung loss nun, tapos ililipat mo something that won't really gain as much also.
Yeah. You should have done that in the end of last year or the beginning of the year. Medyo too late in the game on that. And some people are actually considering that. In the questions that I have in FB Live, a lot of people ask me that. So, it's a real concern, no? Cut ba or unload ba or all these things. Yun yung mga concerns nila. So, babalik pa rin tayo dito sa ano ba yan eh. Kasi yung pera ba yan na naka-invest when you actually need it? Kasi if you don't need it, then might as well, no? Nalugi ka na rin lang, might as well wait it to recover, no? If you transfer it to ang danger kasi nito, Mars, if you transfer it to bonds or even to cash at this point in time, and then they might, baka hindi ka makabalik in time for recovery. Mula ka during the recover. And that happened in 08, 09. A lot of people pulled out, a lot of people transferred, a lot of people did go into the market. So when the market recovered, only those who were able to leave their monies were able to ride on the wave in 2009, 2010. No? So iba, they came in 2011, 2012, inintay pa rin talaga mag-settle in dust. And these are legitimate fears. Hindi naman to, I think you're frozen. Marbs?
No, I'm not. I'm okay. I'm okay. Ikaw yung
Okay.
You're the one.
Okay. So again, so yan yung naging concerns natin. So baka din maiwan ka sa, ano ba yun, maiwan ka sa pansitan. If that's a correct term. Pag nag-recover yan, maiwanan ka talaga. So kinain mo na yung loss di ba? I mean, again, depending on the situation yan, kung ano yung situation mo talaga.
Pero I think yung fears ng tao is, a lot of people have been saying na baka this might be even greater than the depression in the 1920s, that things might get even worse, and that's what's putting in the fear of a lot of people. If you would have a sense, no, in terms of fear, ganito rin ba yung pakiramdam noong 1997? Ganito rin ba pakiramdam noong 1989? The level of uncertainty. Kasi feeling ko, the long-term economic fundamentals 8-10 years from now is still there. Of course, the economy will suffer over the next 6 months, over the next 9 months. Pero is this something that should be a cause of concern for people that are looking at it on that term na baka it might get much worse before it gets good?
There is a high probability that it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Everything is anchored to our ability to contain COVID. I think very important catalyst that will really cause a reversal for us to start to grow again is how we handle COVID, vaccines, and all these things are all anchored on that thing. So up until wala yan, we just have to wait and hold on to whatever we have. That's the reason why we've been encouraging people to have emergency funds and some liquid investments and so forth and so on. So yan yung mga scenario na yan. It can get worse before it gets better, but we don't know. I mean, it can be that the vaccine is already going to be ready soon, or it can be a little bit longer. If you look at in the history, there's times that it took a while for vaccines to go out. So, but they do come out. Most of them they come up with the vaccine to control that, and yun lang. Ang fear lang kasi ngayon, difference is, of course, there's social media, there's all these things. Some governments are reacting, some are overreacting, some are underreacting or are reacting too late. So again, the markets are always going to be sentiment driven, di ba? So yeah, yung fear talaga. Fear is gonna cause the panic. Fear causing people to liquidate or to sell or even not to buy and stuff like that. So babalik pa rin tayo dito So, ano ba? May pera ka ba pambili? Magkano ba yung pera lalagay mo? Ano ba gagawin mo dyan? So, all these things are happening because economically, we're still growing. Let's say, let me compare tayo with, say, Italy, no? Probably Italy is worse than us. But may difference tayo. We have a younger, more vibrant, mobile population as against Italy. So, I think the economy is gonna do better afterwards. But it will take a while. I mean, honestly, Marvin, if you want to be honest with each other, guys, the 70% economy natin tumatakbo. What do you expect? I mean, nothing can happen. But we go back. We've been here in this situation. We survived. We've done martial law. I was born in martial law. There are things I remember. In the lockdown, can't go out. I was very, very young at that time, very faint memories, but I know we couldn't go out the house. Stories like that was prevalent during the coup d'etat. We were afraid to go out of the house because you can see gunfire. I live near Aguinaldo, Crame. I can hear there's actually work nearby. I was already working during that time. So alam mo yun, yung mga ganun bagay. So these were the stories that were happening, and we survived. We're a very resilient nation. We survived, and
okay,
I think we're gonna survive this one too.
So, my question naman, kunyari, I'll qualify it na lang. May people who have extra cash, sobra talaga nilang cash, hindi nila kailangan gamitin. Because of the risk, would you say that it's better pa rin that they just stay in cash? Or because we are at the point where may fear, may risk na is it better that they come in right now for long-term investing index fund, 20 years mo pa siya gagalawin?
Okay. Or really good quality blue chips. No? That can also be. Ako, if you have some money extra, tanggal na emergency funds mo, tanggal na lahat itong pang mga pangangailangan mo ng pera and all this for liquidity. And if you're bold enough, if you risk to take it, I would. What personally I did. I know you did also. And when the markets open, I want to add a little bit more. Take advantage of these things because I've experienced this in the past. My regrets in the past is I wasn't as bold enough to coming in when I should have. But then again, we can all be mistaken. Kaya nga, ano pa rin yan properly diversified, don't put all your eggs in one basket, hindi long-term perspective mo, and so forth and so on.
Ngayon, we talked about investments. I want to go naman about savings. When times were good, madaming hindi pumapansin sa emergency fund ngayon. Madaming ngayon nagsasabi na, buti na lang may emergency fund ako. Pero meron din mga nagsasabi na, nako, kinakabahan ako, wala akong masyadong savings. For people right now that are losing income, losing commissions, not earning as much, and they don't have a buffer, what do you suggest nila gawin ngayon?
Ngayon siguro, yan, definitely huwag ka mag-invest. Definitely is how do you see yourself gonna earn at this time? I mean, what are the things you can do to start to earn again, or waiting on these things to come in? Like you and me, we're freelancers. When we don't go out, we don't work. Although ang dami mong investments, no? But basically, you have to go back into the ability to earn. Now, once things have some semblance of normalcy, and then you start to earn again, siguro my suggestion, and it's a brotherly advice, punuin mo na yung emergency fund mo as soon as you can. Yan muna gawin mo. Huwag ka muna mag-invest. Unahin mo na muna yan. And I hope that our brothers are learning from this situation. No? The reason why I do this, not because I would just teach it, because I lived it, that cash is important during certain times. And yan, the emergency funds are very, very important. Okay? So sana build up muna nila. Yun nga na kasi, remember when we're talking about these things, parang yung when building up the emergency funds, ito yung pinaka ayaw nila pinapakinggan, nakukornihan sila dito because no action whatsoever. But I think now, more than anything else, just like the way we value insurances and all these things, at least now they're seeing the value of it better.
If you were, I think majority of the people don't have savings. Madami. I mentioned this in the previous video.
Yeah.
Hindi lahat ng tao na people always think na living paycheck to paycheck is for minimum wage earners. Pero madaming tao, 50,000 sweldo, 100,000, that if they lose their income for the month, hindi nila maano yung expenses nila for that particular cycle. If you were in that position na as in walang papasok ngayon, what's the best course of action na pwede nilang gawin? If it was parang in that scenario, kunyari ikaw yun ngayon, what's a possible scenario that people could do? Tapos hindi pa pwede lumabas. So it's hard.
Siyempre, number one, I would be praying hard. It's a solution to everything. Balikat ka pa rin Are there anything that you can liquidate or can use? Kasi you need cash, you need money. Although there are moratoriums on payment and everything, which is good, pero babayaran mo pa rin yan next month when everything normalizes. No? So if you didn't pay your amortization, your credit card now, you're still gonna pay it afterwards. Dodoble yan, papatong yan sa succeeding mga premiums or amortizations is gonna happen. So you need to be able to start to generate income or liquidate. No? So meron mga bagay na pwede mong ibenta, siguro i-unload mo muna, may mga investments ka na pwede mong i-liquidate. Kasi here's a point, Marvin, I don't recommend people unloading investment at this time because it's a certain loss already. Depending on the situation, what if you don't have any emergency funds? What if yun na talagang pwede mo kuhaan? Then you're now forced to do so. That's what we've been trying to tell people, no? The reason why we have emergency funds para we don't have to unload our investments unnecessarily. But now we have to do it. I think I have to apologize. My internet's very slow because my wife and my daughters are watching Korean novela at the same time. They do eat up. Wala this bandwidth.
It's okay lang. So yun. So just to just to repeat what you mentioned, just in case mabagal yung
Hindi sila
nag-chop.
Timray natin sila ito. Baka mapag-agalit.
So yun. Kung wala na talaga, the best course is to liquidate some of the investments. Pero nakakatakot yun nung at some point nung sarado yung stock market, kasi sarado stock market, you cannot liquidate your mutual funds, your UITFs, you cannot liquidate your VUL, you cannot also
wala kang maliquidate.
You cannot take out your wala kang makukuha dividends from your shares, wala ka rin makukuha interest rate. That's why opening the markets tomorrow, I think, gave a lot of made people's mind at ease also at some level then. Just to end, for people who are what can you hear me?
Faster na. I switched to my LTE because okay. Thank you to BLT for giving us bonus Smart gave bonus na data
Okay, ayan. Bumibilis na. Just to put this to a close na lang, for people who are not doing so well right now, any advice that you can give them also, and then wala na, it's easier to tell them pag hindi pa nangyayari, pero while we are in the midst of this, that the crisis is happening, we don't even know how long will this last. Ano yung pwede nilang gawin? Kasi I think there will be people who will lose jobs from this. There will be people na yung negosyo nila. The entire events industry is down. Tourism is down. Transportation is down. Ngayon, retail is also down right now. The only things that are doing well ngayon, kung may drugstore ka, okay ka siguro. Kung meron kang grocery, okay ka. Pero other than that, majority of the businesses are not doing so well. So, being someone na naka-encounter ng 4 crashes already, what's a good thing?
Crashes in between. May mga mini crashes in between. DW scam. Okay, sige. Basically, number one, I tell people, corny siya, but do not lose hope. Remember, hope is not a situation. Hope is a person. So, I think it's very important for us to hold on to the Lord. Sabi naman niya, those promises in the Bible that He will take care of us, He will provide for us. If He provides with the birds and the flowers, will He not provide for us, His children? So, yan, very, very important. Otherwise, you will really you'll be so stressed and all these things because there's no hope. So, very important to hold on to that. And next siguro advice that I always hear from my mom when I was younger. Because remember, I grew up martial law, grew up Aquino assassination, grew up through the bad years and all these things. We're middle class family who suffered financially and all these things. So, but basically, I always hear my mom saying, belt tightening, austerity measures. She will use those terms, austerity measures, belt tightening. So we had to learn how to stretch our resources. So this is the perfect time for us to do it. Marami sa atin kasi parang kailangan matuto mag-stretch ng resources. I'm not discounting, marami talaga sa kababayan natin, ganyan yung talagang situation, matagal na. But meron iba sa atin, hindi naman ganun situation. So you now have to stretch your resources. I have to teach my children. They have to stretch our resources. I can't just, it's different times today. It's not like it was 2-3 months ago. So medyo iibahin namin yung structure how we consume. So very important. And more than that is siguro prepare yourself for what's going to come in. Ano ba yung mga skills? Ano ba yung mga skills mo na pwedeng magamit as we wait for that recovery? Kasi ngayon, while we want to do something, honestly, what can we do? No? I mean, some people can go online and all these things, and even that, kahit nga online selling, hindi ka pa pwede magpa-deliver. So, these things it's really a challenge for all of us. Very important to not to lose sight on what's going to happen, but also to understand that this thing will come to pass. And you get ready yourself. When the things are now ready, then maybe you can double time, build up your saving more. Even ako, Marvin, to be honest, siguro after this experience, syempre, matagal na rin yung 2008 and Brighton, medyo nakalimutan ko. I may have to build up on my savings more after this one. less bullish on investing all the time and all these things. So, yun yung mga bagay na even I had to be reminded of. So, that's my advice for everybody.
I have a question pala based on what you said, no? Naisip ko kasi while you were talking, yung people will go into business. Kaso, there's still a fear na, alam mo yung if there's uncertainty, takot gumastos yung mga tao. So pag in the previous parang recessions or in the previous times sa pangit yung economy, how long did it take before yung normal spending pattern started to come back na bumabalik na sa Jollibee yung mga tao, nag-grocery na sila. Yung dating kailangan bumili ng TV, ngayon bibili na sila ng TV kasi tingin na nila wala nang fear na mawawalan sila ng trabaho. Did it take a while? Or?
We need to qualify it a little bit kasi tayo, finance people tayo, investment people tayo. Pare-pareho tingin natin yan. But in reality, hindi yan pare-pareho tingin. Except, let's say 2008. 2008 was a financial crisis that didn't really affect a lot of people. So, I think consumption did not go down. It will continue to do so. Life went on. 1997, although we were concerned, I've always been working in financial services, we were concerned, but parang people were still continue to come in. Ang difference lang was, let's say, coup d'etat, we saw massive buying, massive panic buying and all these things, and maybe the earthquake also, we saw that. So, this is more similar to that. And once we see a certain level of normalcy, then I think everything's gonna go back to normal, or at least close to what normalcy should be able to happen to that. Kasi like a catastrophe, this is a catastrophe, they do pass. And as soon as we contain this COVID, we want, panawagan lang sa ating mga kaibigan, I know it's very hard to follow the government, but this is the one of those times we really need to follow the government. I mean, please stay in your homes, try, when you do go out, take extra precaution. And Marvin, my wife and my family is very, very careful. When I came back from the grocery, I had to take a shower downstairs. They wouldn't let me in without taking that shower. I mean, that's how the fear is among people. I found it a little bit, too much. I respect the members of my family also. Ganun bagay. This is not a financial crisis. It's a crisis that's having a financial impact. But in respect, this is a little bit different. So we need to see normalcy to happen. We really have to really constantly, abide by what the government tells us, and then really hope and pray that solutions are going to be out soon. So, yun eh. And that's what I'm looking forward to as a businessman, as an investor. When the normalcy comes, then it's going to be a climb up, and I want to be there during the ride up. As compared to earlier years, maybe I didn't have the financial capacity back then, but now I do a little bit, so I will take opportunity in these things. Diba? I mean, these are the things you always hear from our mentor, Rex Mendoza, diba? And all these things. So, pag di pa tayo nakinig, di pa natin sinunod, paano na yan? Assuming you have me.
So in short, in short, prepare that it might get worse. Don't spend on things that you don't spend on kasi we don't know what will happen yet. Pero when an opportunity comes in, kasi nagtipid kayo, you have extra pad, you can use that also to take advantage of certain opportunities that come in. So,
agree.
Yun, galing.
Are you wearing shorts under that shirt? Ako?
I can neither confirm nor deny whatever is said after this. Yeah. So thank you so much, Randell Tiongson. He has a YouTube channel, by the way. I'll put it also in the description. He has personal finance tips with cooking recipes there na rin. So,
and from time to time, I'm gonna do FB lives, no? So Marvin's gonna guest next week. So we wanna more, kasi kami na Marvin, we wanna continue to teach, to inspire, and teach people. So despite the lockdown, we're still gonna do this, no? I'm forcing myself to do more videos thanks to my friend Mark. Very uncomfortable.
I think everyone's doing pati across the board, no? Politicians, churches, kasi wala the only way for people to get heard right now is to do it online.
Yes.
So I guess that's it for now. Marvin Germo, Randell Tiongson. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart.
I want to see what you're wearing.
Bye everyone.